Mm. All right. Hello, everyone. How are you? Emily Owens with Search2Close Title Company. I am one of the attorneys with Search2Close. I am joined today by a very special guest. We have Racquel Ludaway, owner of the Ludaway Group. Hi, Racquel. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Emily?
I'm good. I'm good. Are you hanging in there?
I am. Yeah, I am. I
Well,
really
good.
enjoyed the quarantine, actually. I think
Do
we need like one a year.
you have a personality type that does okay with it?
I do really well with it, actually.
I do too. I do too. My dad is the complete opposite. We laugh. This is literally the worst thing that can happen for someone like him. He gets all of his energy from being with other people. And so it's really hard for him.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. I could live like this for a while. It's not too terrible.
I could do this for a while, at least 1 to 2 months a year. I'm good with a little quarantine.
Maybe next year we'll just do it voluntarily.
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. And I just, we've been kind of doing these chats over the last couple of weeks to talk to people like you, agents, other people in the industry, just to kind of get a feel for what you're seeing in your work right now, kind of, how things are changing, or maybe what you predict for the coming months in the summer as maybe these stay-at-home orders relax. But I guess I'll start, I think everyone's doing lots of these Zoom type calls, but how are you kind of connecting with clients during this time, maybe where you can't do a lot of face-to-face stuff?
Yeah, so, I'm doing a little bit of both. I have some clients that want me to stop by, take a look at the house. They want to actually meet face to face. I had a listing appointment yesterday and we did that. So in that case, I always wear my mask and my gloves, and I try and stay away, at least 6 feet apart. But I do that. But then I've also taken Zoom listing appointments, which has, it was awkward the first time doing that. But it's pretty effective as well. So I think what I've learned during this process is there's an efficient way to do things, you know what I mean? Like with using Zoom and stuff like that. I think I will carry some of this stuff even once things start to open up. I think I will carry some of the things that we've been forced to do because of the quarantine, but I think it's been pretty efficient. It's been something that I've learned, like I can do buyers consultations through Zoom, and I don't have to run around the city showing them houses, because we have started to look at stuff, through Google, and then we can identify, oh, there's a school behind the house, and oh yeah, we want to scratch that off of our list.
Yeah.
So I've been finding that it's been more effective, starting out that way before we actually, hit the streets and start looking at houses and stuff. So I have really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that's great. And you mentioned, some people still wanting you to come to their house and meet in person. And we kind of see that a little bit on the closing end too, with just the gamut of what people are comfortable with. Some people come in, no masks in the room, then they're fine, and that's kind of their comfort level. We have these plexiglass screens, and we do our part to keep people safe. And then you have other people who prefer a car closing or want to do some hybrid because they want to spend as little, amount of time as possible in the actual office. So I think you're probably seeing that too, where people's just comfort level is different.
Yeah, for sure. Like we've had, I've had some people, of course, during this, I've had some people, we were in contract and we had to get out of contract because they lost their jobs or, something like that. And then I've had some people where, they wanted to list, but they decided, oh, well, let me just wait and see what happens after, everything. So everyone's on a different spectrum as far as their comfort level, in terms of, do I want to buy right now? Do I want to sell right now? But I'm finding that there's still plenty of people who are still out there looking and still out there buying, and they want to see the house. They want to go in person, and they're not afraid to do that. So
yeah,
still keeping busy with those people.
Have you found anyone who's like been in quarantine or, you know, maybe been at home a lot, realizing like, hey, I need a bigger house? There's
I know when you have
for all of these people.
Yeah, when you have all the people at home, you're like, oh, this is not enough room for all of us. We need some space.
Right. I keep thinking about that. I'm like, we should probably sell. Like, we're running out of room here.
Yeah, for sure.
Our dining room table is like a mix of like school desks, like me, you know, doing work up there sometimes, and if I have a puzzle out or something, it's just like no room to eat really. But
yeah, you start to really like, man, I miss the office because being around all these people all day.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
I know. I get to go in sometimes for closing still. So I'm still going into the office for closings, and it is a nice like time to get away.
Get away. You know what I found is that I feel like I work longer now that I'm working from home, even though like in real estate, you know, I have a home office here. So I'm in the office, you know, I'm always working at home as well. But now it feels like I'm working longer hours because there's no separation between, you know, home and work. So I'm working all day. I'm in my office all day. But then, you know, of course you take time out to go eat or, you know, throw something in the laundry, but then you come back to your office and then before you know it, it's like 9 o'clock at night. And then you finally, you know, so I feel like I'm working longer, even though, you know, I may not be out showing as many houses, but I feel like I've really not stopped working, which is kind of crazy. So I'm like, the month has gone by. I need another month of quarantine to just kind of catch up, you know? So I'm like, where did this time go? I wasted the past 5 weeks. So
yeah, I feel you on that. I do work, and then after the kids go to bed, I do more work because it's just easier when they're sleeping, you know, any like time they're getting naps in, I'm getting as much as I possibly can get done. So, well, what do you think, you know, as these probably some of these stay-at-home orders are lifting, obviously, you know, more people are going to be going back to work in the coming weeks. I mean, do you have any predictions, or how are you advising your clients anyway for the summer months? You know, do you see kind of a resurgence maybe where we would have been in the spring, maybe to hit this summer?
You know, I think Columbus has really not seen a tremendous slowdown at all. You know, I wrote 3 offers actually yesterday, and there were multiple offers on every property. So we are not really seeing a slowdown, aside from, of course, there's low inventory, but there's always been low inventory. So I've just been telling my clients that, you know, now is the best time, you know, to get in there, sell your house, buy a house, because once everything starts to open back up, now you have even more competition, things like that. And when you check the numbers on the MLS, you know, houses are going on the market and the majority of them are going in contract within the first week. So why is it not a good time right now to sell?
Right.
You know, so, and it's still just as competitive now as ever to buy. So, but it's cheaper to buy at this point with the increased prices of apartments and rentals. So why would you not buy with the current rates? So if you are in a situation where you have a stable work position, now is the best time to buy. You know, so I don't know. I can't predict. No one can really predict what will be the fallout. When it comes, once all of this is over. Only thing we can look at is our current market. And right now the market is still, you know, very strong. And so I encourage people, if you're in a position to buy, now is the time to buy.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And we're seeing, you know, the same thing in terms of listings and order. You know, it really, I don't think Columbus has seen maybe the impact that other cities have. And hopefully that carries on in the coming months, and, you know, we can kind of maintain that strong market. So
yeah. I mean, it's great to be in Columbus because I know other cities are not, are not experiencing the same. But, I've gotten calls from appraisers, who've been trying to use my comps or something, and they're just asking me for information about the sales. And they are all saying, we're swamped. They are like loving this because they are like so swamped and everything. So I have not seen a slowdown at all. I mean, in terms of my business, the slowdown has been more so me, not really wanting to get out there and showing houses and being around people. So it's been more of, me kind of slowing down. But in terms of, the business, it's still super, super busy here in Columbus. So.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
You know what I have found though? So we are busy, but one of the things that I found, and I had this with one of my listings that has been delayed again, as far as the closing, banks are switching things up in the middle of what's going on. So the requirements have tightened up for buyers. We have one situation where we have a buyer, they keep asking for employment verification because banks are nervous that people, will lose their jobs. So it's harder to close deals, I think, now than it has been previously because banks are getting so tight in underwriting. So that's what I've seen, is that, it's just a little bit harder to close deals. It's a little bit harder to get qualified because I think conventional now they're asking for 20% down, whereas that was different. So I think that's a little bit tougher, probably a little bit harder for buyers. But aside from that, in terms of the activity, it's still been pretty busy.
Yeah, I agree. We're even seeing in terms of underwriting at the closing table, just the re-verification of employment, signing more affidavits, signing affidavits that they haven't taken a forbearance on a current mortgage if they're selling, all of those types of things I'm seeing at the closing table that just, obviously weren't there a couple weeks ago. So, Well, Racquel, if people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way?
Well, they can always call me or email. So my phone number is 614-695-3426. And my email is rmludaway@kw.com. So always taking new buyers, new sellers. And we're still keeping busy.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And it's great insight that you have. And I know we appreciate being able to share that on our Search to Close page. So thanks again.
Emily. And we love Search to Close. My team and I love you guys.
No, thank you. We love you too. Take care. Don't work too hard.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.